Last night.
Crash or not. Make sure you and everyone in the vehicle buckles up every time. Click it or ticket. Paid for by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The Ohio Valley would like to welcome Airgas USA to the tri-state area, your one-stop shop for all your welding and safety needs. Airgas is the United States' largest distributor of industrial, medical, and specialty gases and related equipment, products, and services. Airgas carries more than 36,000 safety and welding products. Check out airgas.com with free ship to store on over 200,000 items. Or stop in to see us at 2208 Warwood Avenue. Mention this ad for an additional 20% off your first purchase. Some exclusions apply.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday. Partly to mostly sunny skies, a daytime high near 88. Overnight low of 58 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Sunshine and clouds mixing for your Saturday with highs in the mid to upper 80s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's the story?
The story?
Our story begins on a Friday morning.
Great Friday!
What's the day?
It's Friday. Yay!
Yeah. It's Friday already? I am ready to be back on the air.
We've got work to do.
But we're gonna have some fun.
Let's go.
Ready?
I was born ready.
Come on, it's showtime.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Yeah, it's going to be a warm one. It is a warm one. 72 degrees right now at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 70 degrees here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, and 68 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling. In the heart of the Ohio Valley, it's sunny and clear and beautiful outside. Going to hit a high today of 86. Going to be in the 80s all through the next week. But a little bit of rain could come in. A little bit of rain could come in on Sunday. But a couple of beautiful days. Enjoy the sunshine. All blazing sunshine today with warm temperatures. Now, put some sunscreen on or something, you know. Be a little careful about that. I know that grandson Teddy's school is planning a big outdoor day today, and they were very careful to make sure that everybody had sunscreen on before they came. 9:12 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. The Ohio News Network a few minutes ago had a story about how we're now allowed to, those of us who are vaccinated, like Biff and I, and many of you, vaccinated people don't have to worry about masks or social distancing either indoors or outdoors, with the exception of certain circumstances. So the world is getting back to normal, and we don't have to wear the mask. Now, ONN had an interesting piece about the fact that a lot of people are still just antsy about it. It's not that they necessarily have any medical concerns. It's just they're antsy. We've been masked up for so long that there's a certain anxiety that comes from taking the mask off. An interesting story that crossed my desk this morning. Women in particular don't want to take their mask off because a number of women are saying that when they were wearing the masks, they weren't getting as many cat calls, Biff. For some reason, apparently, the lower part of the woman's face is what must have enticed guys. I don't know. Women on Twitter are discussing it. One writer said, "Does anyone else like wearing masks so less dudes catcall or stop you to try to chat?" I never thought about that. Do guys not hit on women because they got a mask on now? I haven't hit on women for a very long time, so I don't know, but that just seems kind of strange. The general consensus, according to the story I'm reading here, says that street harassment has largely been curbed during the pandemic, that women have not been bothered as much on the street as they had been before the pandemic. Now, is that because they're wearing the mask? Is that because people aren't out as much? Is it because everybody's still nervous about, hooking up maybe with someone who's got, I don't know. But anyways, women in particular are thinking that mask was helpful. I didn't get hit on quite as much. A consumer advocacy group called One Fair Wage, you can guess their perspective, but One Fair Wage did a survey. 25% of restaurant workers they surveyed said there was a significant increase in sexual harassment during the pandemic. So that kind of negates the other argument that the mask was keeping people from hitting on women. One Fair Wage says that a quarter of restaurant workers said they saw a significant, that's their word, significant increase in sexual harassment during the pandemic. So I think there's going to be some anxiety, Biffy. Probably you and I are happy to take the mask off, but I think a lot of people are just going to be antsy about it. Even if it's okay, if it's legal, if it's medically all right, I think people are going to be a little bit antsy about taking off the mask. We've just been messed up for so long,
Yeah, and again, I mean, if they still choose to do it, I mean, that's fine. I mean, to each their own. But I mean, I'm not going to say anything. For me, it's just business as usual. And again, I mean, I'm still going to keep one in the car and and take one with me just in case. Because again, like you said, in certain circumstances, and depending on what the business is and the rules and everything. So, yeah, it'll be nice not having to wear it as much. But I mean, I'm still going to keep one on hand.
I keep mine in my pocket at all the times, and every once in a while I can tell. I walk into like a meeting or something, and I can see everybody is masked. Okay, all right, so these people are still a little antsy. I'll put mine on, and if everybody isn't, I won't put mine on. Again, I'm vaccinated. I'm not too personally concerned about it, and I guess if everybody else isn't, then I won't either. But I'm like you, Biffy. I'll keep my mask around, and if the circumstance is such that I put it on, I'll put it on. It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, I mean, really nothing to it, and not that difficult to follow.
Yeah, and I'm not going to have any no mask anxiety. I feel good without my mask. Although sometimes I feel, generally at the playground, for example, Tuesdays is playground day for Teddy and one of his little girlfriends. They meet at Ogilvy's playground, and most of the virtually all of the parents that we see up there, and the kids and so. We're not wearing masks. Everybody's vaccinated. It's the great outdoors. There's plenty of social distancing. But then I get a little bit antsy because sometimes I'll see like a couple of parents come through with their kids and they're masked up, and it makes me think, well, maybe they have a concern. I don't want to be like a jerk. Look at that jerk over there without a mask on. So if I see people putting a mask on, if I think they're worried about it, I'm happy to put it on. I do not feel like it's an infringement on my freedom, nor am I going to somehow, I don't know what it is people think when they say they can't wear the mask. So some women apparently think that they've been able to avoid sexual harassment, being hit on because they're wearing the mask. Somewhat in the same line, Biffy, a survey here, and I'll bet you can get the answer to this one correctly, Biff.
Okay.
What do guys care the most about when picking a woman? No, you can say it. It's what you're thinking.
Her eyes.
It's how they look. It's how they look. It's how they look. A new study out found that men, these are young men in their 20s, but nonetheless, that men care about looks 4 times more than women do. To which I want to say, well, duh.
we needed a survey or a study for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Look, we're pigs. We look at how a woman looks. It's as simple as that. And this survey was done on guys in their 20s. Let me tell you, guys in their 60s, it's the same thing. We're like, oh, she's kind of hot. I mean, that's. So, I'm sorry. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get texts. Even many of my good friends are going to text me. Oh man! But
wait a minute, 20. I mean, you're talking college. So what they do? Go to college campuses and universities and do this study or survey?
Yes, I don't know. But they found again a big, stunning surprise. Men care more about a woman's looks. Women focus more on personality. Yeah, boy. I hope they didn't spend a lot of money on this study. I certainly hope they didn't spend a lot of money on this study. Researchers looked at 9 different traits. Women care about intelligence, education, age, and emotional connections. I do pretty good. I'm fairly intelligent. I'm well educated. I don't know about age. I don't know. Am I too old? I don't know about age. Emotional connections, you know. So I mean, that's what women care about. The guys care about looks and body type. I mean, and I'm sorry. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but this is the life. This is worldly. This is reality, right, Biffy? Come on.
Yes, it is. Sadly, it is.
It is. Yeah, it is. And I mean, please don't get me wrong. I certainly pay attention to a woman, whether it's to any woman. I care about their intelligence. I care about their personality. You have to be able to have a conversation with them. But seriously, anybody surprised that the number one thing guys look at with women first is looks? I mean, come on. And I'm sorry. I know that that's wrong. I know it's wrong. But you've heard me say it too many times. I'm too old to change my ways. You know, men are men and women are women, and vive la différence. Men's priorities change as they get older, but it says it right here, just what I just got telling you. But even in their 60s, men care about physical attractiveness twice as much as women do. Yeah. And that's good. Because if my wife had to base her love for me on physical attractiveness, holy cow. Oh, boy. Would I be in some kind of trouble, I think. So anyways, it's one of those studies, Biffy, you say, it's not politically correct to say this, but of course men pay more attention to looks, women pay more attention to personality.
And again, I hope that was a cheap study or survey. I hope they did.
Because if somebody spent too much money investigating this,
all they had to do was ask us. We could have told them.
That's right.
Save them money.
You and I would have done it for, for a breakfast burrito.
Maybe 2 of them, but still.
Okay. You're right. 9:21, 21 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It is a Friday. You know what that means coming up today, Biffy?
Oh, yes. Donnie G.
And Dancing with Donnie G. It's the Donnie Gilbert Radio Show coming up today at noon on WVOY, FM 97.7 and AM 1370. And he's packing them in once again. Oh, boy. The one thing that Donnie never considers is guests in moderation. You know, it's like a guest-a-palooza with Donnie all the time.
Yeah.
Bo McConaughey's going to be in. That should be interesting. Wheeling University's head baseball coach Ryan Andrew Lewicki is going to be coming by. Adam Truax talking about the Helping Heroes fundraiser this Friday night in Wheeling at Nail City. Senator Mike Maroney will be on, talking about some of the legislative matters and things happening around the Mountain State. And our good friend, the Reverend Darrell Cummings, dropping by to talk to Donnie about. I just wonder sometimes the Reverend walks out of that Donnie studio and goes, "Whoa."
You talk about needing prayers. My goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Reverend Cummings, of course, we talk about the free vaccine drive, the drive-through vaccination clinic tomorrow at the Dream Center in North Wheeling from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I will remind you about that as well. If you are not vaccinated, really easy way to do it. There's no residency requirements, so Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, come on over. It's in the parking lot of the Dream Center in North Wheeling. You pull into the alley sort of behind the building. They'll get you some quick information, and they'll just jab you right there in the car. So it's real fast, real easy. And then they'll ask you to step over to the side or drive over to the side and wait for 15 minutes to make sure that you didn't have any side effects. And off you go, and you will then join the happy ranks of those of us who are vaccinated. So remember that tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the North Wheeling Dream Center. the Reverend Darrell Cummings and the Bethlehem Apostolic Temple. And he'll talk more about it today with Donnie coming up today on Dancing with Dr. G, the Donnie Gilbert radio show. This does not tell me, Donnie's notes don't tell me if he's going to be in studio or up at Quaker Steak, so I do not know about that. And Donnie may not know.
Actually, I think Donnie's in studio today.
He's in studio today.
I think, yeah, because he was last week. He was in studio, so I think he's going to be here again in studio today.
All right. Well, it's always an intriguing program. Don't forget, Dancing with Dr. G every Friday, noon to 2 on WVOY AM 1370 and FM 97.7. It's 9:24, 24 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Congress, as we know, approved this week the January 6th Investigation Commission. I want to talk a bit more about that. Yesterday, the Congress approved almost $2 billion to improve security at the Capitol, but it was a very narrow vote there as well. So we'll talk about those stories coming up as the Watchdog Morning Show continues for a Friday.
The variety show would...
I need 2 Coors Lights! Sure thing.
With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time. Here you go.
Thanks, Mike. Doing a great job. All right, 2 ice cold Coors Lights.
That's the coldest beer I've ever had.
Hey, they don't call it the world's most refreshing beer for nothing.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you really have the Rocky Mountains in your beer cooler?
You don't believe it? Check it out.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I can't believe it myself sometimes. I mean, this cooler is only 3 feet wide.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Bellsville. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Bellsville trusts the Watchdog.
You can watch a video cast of our show every morning on Facebook Live or on our website. Plus, check archives of all of our videos on the Watchdog YouTube channel. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
72 degrees, clear and sunny, a beautiful day, a nice warm one coming up, 86 the predicted high today. Bippy, did you see the Penguins game last night? I guess they had a bit of a brawl in that game. It was a pretty rough game, huh?
Yeah, they had each team at one point there was a fight, and each team had 5 guys in the penalty box at the same time. And the Penguins would have had a 6th guy in the box, but they couldn't fit him in the box. So they set him. So somehow, out of all this, they set him on the bench, and the Islanders ended up getting a power play out of this whole scrum, which saw each team send 5 guys to the box. Each.
So I didn't see it, but I saw several people posting on my social media account saying, this is ridiculous. I mean, even folks who like a little dust up in their hockey sometimes thought this went a little bit overboard, huh?
They it was funny. The only thing they were missing was the no vacancy sign on the penalty box, because they just kept sending them, and we in the middle of dinner we were looking at it, and at one point I looked up and it said, okay, they each sent 3. Then they sent 4. It was like they just kept sending one after another. And finally, I looked. I said, "Heck, each team has 5 guys in the penalty box." I mean, I
love that there's no room for the last guy. I got no room, coach. No room. Where am I going to go, ref? Where am I going to go?
Yeah, and again, how the Islanders got a power play out of that was beyond me. But no, it was interesting. I mean, you don't see that too often, where each team has a whole line actually in the penalty box at the same time. So
at the same time,
yeah. But the Penguins, it was a hard fought game that they won in regulation last night, 5-4. So they lead that series 2-1, and Game 4 will be in New York on Saturday, and then they will come back to Pittsburgh on Monday night, hopefully with a chance to clinch that series. So Game 5 will be Monday back in Pittsburgh.
All right. I just wish I'd seen it, because it sounds like it was kind of fun to watch the.
Oh, I mean, it was a physical game, lot of hitting going on, and some of the scrums that they get into. The Penguins and the Islanders, they don't like each other, so it's to be expected, but I don't think we expected to see whole lines in the penalty box at the same time. But yeah, so Game 4 tomorrow afternoon in New York could be interesting if there is how much fallout or what happens from last night. So we'll see tomorrow afternoon.
Switching to golf, who did you tell me if I excuse me 1 minute. Okay. If I was asking you to place a bet on FanDuel on the PGA Championship this weekend, who would you put your money on?
I said earlier, Brooks Koepka.
Brooks Koepka, okay. Corey Connors in the lead right now after the first round yesterday. 500 par 67 for him. Of course, Koepka still in the, obviously is one of the big ones, several others as well. My friends, if you are a golf fan, watching golf is fun, like all other sports, but we can add a little extra excitement by throwing a couple of bucks in off of FanDuel as well. We often talk about football or basketball or maybe baseball with the betting, but don't forget, golf is one of the games that the FanDuel Sportsbook app lets you bet on, and you can bet on all kinds of things. I mean, you can bet on who do you think is going to win the tournament this weekend, or you can bet on head-to-head matchups. Pick a couple of players you really like and put them head-to-head, and place a bet on of those two. Who do you think is going to come out better? Just all kinds of props for golf as well as all other sports on FanDuel. So, and remember, if you're new to FanDuel, you get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, use my name, Monroe, in the promo code box, as always, and then start using the app. and pick your first bet, whatever you think it might be. I always say take a good long shot bet for your first one, only because if you win, you'll get your money, and the long shots pay big money. And if you lose, you don't lose it. They'll put that money back into your account in site credit for you to use within a couple of weeks, and you can place a second bet, maybe a little more cautious at that time around. But first of all, you got to download the app. So download FanDuel from the download FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use my name, Monroe, in the promo code box, and that way they know we sent you here on the Watchdog Morning Show. And whether it's golf or basketball, and they've got the NBA play-in tournament, a couple of special deals going on with that right now. Whether it's baseball, we're in the midst of the baseball season. They have martial art, everything. They got 17 or 18 different kinds of sports you can bet on FanDuel. Now remember, you must be 21 or older. You must be physically present in West Virginia. The first online real money wager only. The refund is issued as a non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. You want to check that out at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And as always, a reminder, if you enjoy gaming, if gambling is fun, if it's part of your entertainment mix, go for it. However, if gambling is a problem for you, and it is for many, don't download FanDuel, but instead call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. Now, I want to talk about the Capitol Insurrection Commission, the Capitol Security Bill that passed narrowly yesterday, and we'll do that coming up in a minute or two. But first, let's check Ohio Valley headlines, well, actually statewide headlines, from our friends at Metro News, and Mr. DeFabio will continue sports conversation as well. Here on the Watchdog Morning Show for a Friday.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Whoa. I want to use that Tim Ryan cut coming up here. Thank you.
New Belgium Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available in West Virginia and distributed locally by wine and beverage merchants. With its toasty and biscuit-like malt flavors blended perfectly with hoppy freshness, it's bound to become one of your new favorite craft beers. Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available at local retailers. Please don't drink and drive, and drink responsibly. From your friends at Wine and Beverage Merchants.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Every weeknight at 6 p.m., join the voice of the Mountaineers, Tony Caridi, on The Watchdog. Tony informs and entertains WVU fans with the latest Mountaineer sports news. If it happens in the world of gold and blue, Tony knows about it and shares it with you. Sportsline, weeknights at 6 on The Watchdog.
You can vote in our Watchdog poll and read commentary in our blogs on watchdognetwork.com. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
72 and sunny outside. Great day in store today. Sunshine, blue skies. It's going to be hot. I mean, you're going to have to deal with the heat, but and some blazing sun. So be prepared for that with sunscreen and maybe a hat or something. But all in all, going to be a good day today. Enjoy it. It's going to be hot inside my house because the air conditioning isn't working. Tried turning it on for the first time yesterday. No luck. No action. Called the air conditioning people this morning. Yeah, next week sometime. Probably about the time the temperature goes down again. That's the way it always works. 18 to the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Yesterday, Congress approved $1.9 billion for additional security at the U.S. Capitol. Obviously, this comes in the wake of the January 6th insurrection. But it was as narrow a vote as you could possibly get. 213 to 212. Now, the idea would be to install retractable fencing around the Capitol, have a quick response force there in case there's ever another kind of attack. But it was not obviously just the Republicans voting against it. 213 to 212, and just a one vote difference. Some Democrats were concerned about more funding for Capitol Police. Republicans said it was too expensive, and they don't think any fencing is needed. But then again, Republicans are saying, well, there was no attack on the Capitol. One member recently said it was, well, they were just tourists. Tourists? Talking about hang Mike Pence? Tourists? Beating cops with lead pipes? Tourists? Storming through the gates? They were just tourists. So when Republicans say no fencing is needed, I guess, because they don't believe, I don't know what happens. Do they block it out themselves or what? I don't get it. Of course, earlier this week, Congress approved the creation of the Insurrection Commission, a January 6th commission that will begin to investigate what happened on that day. How did it occur? What was the motivation behind these people? Yes, was there any influence from Donald Trump on this? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered about this. Some involving Trump, some going above and beyond Donald Trump. As we know, we talked about it yesterday, 35 Republicans joined the Democrats in Congress in voting for this January 6th commission. This, even though Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said he did not want to see it pass. They whipped up votes against it. But 35 Republicans said, no, this is too big a deal. We are not going to ignore what happened on January 6th. And we touched on this briefly yesterday. I really want to take another minute to thank Dave McKinley, Congressman McKinley from this area, for voting in favor of the commission. In favor of the commission. He bucked his own party on this one, and a lot of times I disagree with Dave, Congressman McKinley. I often disagree with him on policy issues, but I think he deserves a round of applause and serious credit for this, bucking his own party and voting for creation of the commission. He told Metro News in a statement, not an interview, but a statement, protecting the integrity of our elections and maintaining the confidence of American workers is fundamental to the health of our country. So I think that's, I just want to commend Dave McKinley. He says the events at the Capitol on January 6th were horrific and cannot be ignored. A fair bipartisan investigation will help us get to the bottom of what happened that day and understand the factors that contributed to it, including the media, social media, and overheated rhetoric by both parties, said Congressman McKinley. We were faced with an up or down vote, no ability to amend it. Hopefully this proposal will be considered in the Senate with perhaps some additional amendments to improve it. If the commission becomes too partisan, Republican members could walk away or not sign the final report. But again, Dave McKinley, I really want to say again, I give him a huge amount of credit. He says, quote, Congress has always investigated major events, including 9/11 and Benghazi in recent years. January 6th, says McKinley, should be no different. And I again, speaking for myself, I really appreciate McKinley taking what I think there is a principled stance and going against his own party. Yesterday I played, and I love this so much, I'm going to do it one more time. And I didn't play the whole clip yesterday, but yesterday I played a small clip from Tim Ryan, congressman from the Youngstown area, who took to the floor of Congress this week after the vote. The commission was created, but all 175, was it? 175 Republicans voted against investigating the events of January 6th. And the outrage and the incredulity that Ryan expressed has just fascinated me. I love the way he phrases it, and I love just the honest outrage, the honest incredulity that he brought to this. I played a bit of this for you yesterday, just a little bit more here today.
I want to thank the gentleman from New York and the other Republicans who are supporting this and thank them for their bipartisanship. To the other 90% of our friends on the other side of the aisle, holy cow. Incoherence. No idea what you're talking about. Benghazi, you guys chased the former Secretary of State all over the country, spent millions of dollars. We have people scaling the Capitol, hitting the Capitol Police with lead pipes across the head, and we can't get bipartisanship. What else has to happen in this country? Cops. This is a slap in the face to every rank and file cop in the United States. If we're going to take on China, if we're going to rebuild the country, if we're going to reverse climate change, we need two political parties in this country that are both living in reality, and you ain't one of them. I yield back about
I mean, at least to me, Biff, sometimes we hear these what are clearly political statements, and that was political. But this sounded to me like a guy who just couldn't believe it. I mean, it was just, I think it was so honest. At least that's the way it came across to me. Did you sense that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you could tell exactly where he stood, and, he definitely had a point that he wanted to make.
I loved it when he says, thanks to those of you who voted for it. To the rest of you, holy cow.
And you got to see the expression. It's funny because as he's starting, he's okay. And then when he gets to that point, like his eyes get real big and he just goes off.
Holy cow, incoherent. But he makes a great point, and the comparison to Benghazi, and you'll note that Dave McKinley made that comparison too. Dave McKinley said, as Tim Ryan pointed out, Dave McKinley said, look, we've investigated 9/11, we've investigated Benghazi, millions of dollars, as Ryan said, spent on Benghazi, on what was a comparatively, I'm not trying to say it was no big deal, but a comparatively small matter compared to this insurrection at the Capitol. And years, I think it was years, of investigations, of millions of dollars spent. Remember, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton at the time spent, 11 hours in the witness chair? I mean, that was worth the investigation. Why in God's name, and I think I want to say it that way, why in God's name would we not want to investigate what happened on January 6th? And again, there's some real, actual practical reasons. Kevin McCarthy doesn't want to do it because he almost certainly will be called as a witness, because he talked to Donald Trump in the midst of the insurrection. And his initial readout of his own phone call with Donald Trump was that Trump did not seem to be concerned about what was happening at the Capitol. Trump was more concerned about trying to overturn the election. So it needs to be investigated. And anybody who thinks otherwise is just trying to hide things. Now, and again, I want to point out, as I did earlier this week, because I want to really make this point, this was a true bipartisan bill that was passed by Congress. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy had sent a deputy, Congressman Katko, to be his negotiator and to get the things that McCarthy wanted into the bill. And he did. For example, the commission will be 50-50, 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans. Both sides will have complete subpoena power. So either side, the Democrats or Republicans, or any mixture of those, can subpoena someone to come testify. So the Democrats and the Republicans both have that power. All of the things that Katko said McCarthy wanted, he got done. And when you talk about throwing one of your own team under the bus, Katko says, all right, I negotiated this deal in good faith based on what the minority leader told me to do. And then Katko goes, but at least he has said we're allowed to vote our own conscience. And then he said, no, they couldn't even vote their own conscience. So again, I love that quote from Tim Ryan. I won't do it again, but I just, holy cow, says Tim Ryan. I just thought that was a great clip. And again, I want to commend Dave McKinley. I want to really commend Dave McKinley, bucking his own party and doing the right thing. Now here's a guy who always does the right thing. Bob Westphal from the Big Seven. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, Howard. I'm sure I have an ex-wife that'll tell you differently.
I hear you. I just try to be nice, Bob. I'm just trying to be nice.
I understand. Take a look at some of the stuff we're working on today. It looks like federal legislation has been introduced. Several members of the House to ban greyhound racing. It looks like we're back to that again. And of course, the group involved is Animal Wellness Action and Gray 2K USA Worldwide. Looks like U.S. reps from California, Florida, Tennessee, and Pennsylvania have all introduced legislation to phase out greyhound racing and simulcasting of dog racing. So we're going to talk locally. We're going to talk to Senator Ryan Weld on that. And then also we're going to talk to Gray 2K's spokesperson, Carrie Thiel, today as well, just to see what the push is behind that legislation. Obviously, that does mean jobs here in the Valley at Wheeling Island at the casino. So we'll see what's behind that legislation.
And it comes as some of the Greyhound owners released numbers this week saying that they've actually seen an increase in their handle at the track because of the other Florida and in particular Florida, closing their Greyhound racing And
Right.
so there's actually been an uptick here at the track. So it's going to be interesting. I have not seen that federal legislation, but I heard that it was coming. So that should be interesting.
Yeah.
I look forward to your
So
your
yeah, it
segment
looks
today.
like it is being pushed by the legislature. So we'll take a look at that. But like I said, Senator Weld will be talking to us, and so will a spokesperson from the Greyhound Group. A couple other things we're working on real quick. Boating Safety Week is actually next week. We're going to go out today, travel the Ohio River with the West Virginia DNR. Talk to them about how to be safe out on the river. I mean, the temperatures are going up. A lot more people are going to be out on the river and our lakes. So just a reminder of being safe out there. I think people have a strange thought of when they're on the river. It's a little bit different than maybe driving a car, but it truly, really isn't. I mean, it's just as big and dangerous to drive a boat. Maybe there's a little more maneuverability out there, but you just got to be safe. So we're going to talk to DNR about that today.
That makes sense.
And let's see real quick. Let's see here. Bill Johnson's going to be in the area today. Big charter day. It's the 50th anniversary of Belmont College, so we'll be catching up to him. Also tonight, the bipartisan group is holding a seminar, if you will, at the Capitol tonight with David McKinley, who you just talked about, and U.S. Rep. Tonko from New York, talking about bipartisan issues. So we're going to cover that for this evening. So we'll have that as well. Of course, the weather's going to be gorgeous, so we'll have that. Something I did want to mention, I know we're all talking about employment and people looking for jobs and things like that. WTRF is, I think this is our sixth job fair. We're holding a job fair that is coming up, so we're excited about that. If you go to our website, the event is June 10th from 11 to 5. It's going to be at the Wheeling Park Ice Rink. But if you go to our website, WTRF.com, you'll see the link. You go on there and sign up. We're excited. You'll see the list of businesses that are attending, everybody from Cabela's all the way down to Williams-Lee, Wheeling Hospital, things like that. So we're really excited about that. Again, June 10th, Wheeling Park Ice Rink. So if you're looking for work out there, there's a lot of good companies that are going to be involved in this.
And that's June 10th, you said, is the job fair?
Mm-hmm. June 10th at the ice rink.
All right, people can circle that on their calendar.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good, Bob. Anything else you're working on? Is that it for now?
Weather, sports, a lot of stuff we're working on. I do want to pitch Catherine's story. We're going to sit down with Catherine Guyon. DK did earlier this week or late last week, talking with a lot of the issues she had after her newborn came along, dealing with everything from postpartum to first-time mom to all those kind of issues. So we've been running a Moms in Motion series. So we're going to sit down with one of our own, and I think it's going to be a really good story. And I know Catherine really wanted to get a lot of this stuff out there, so I'm really excited about that story. So that's going to run on our 5 o'clock today.
Yeah, she's been working pretty hard on putting all that Moms in Motion stuff together. So I'll be curious. I'll be interested to hear what she has to say about the work that she's been doing on that. All right, Bob, sounds good. Noon, 5, 6, 10, 11, 5:30 statewide show. Always at WTRF.com and on your Facebook page. And especially over the weekend, people can keep in tune with what's happening by just checking out WTRF.com or your Facebook page. And you and I will talk again on Monday.
All right, we'll talk about that. You guys have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too. Appreciate it. Bob Westphal from the Big 7, WTRF TV. That's what they're working on today. What I'm working on is, I'm thinking about breakfast, to be honest with you, because it's time for me to say sayonara, see you, bye-bye, farewell. I got to go. I got to get out of here. Kirchhoff continues on vacation. Dave Wilson has the calm coming up next. As for this guy, good Lord willing, creeks don't rise. Bat phone doesn't ring. I don't get impeached. I don't retire. Ticker keeps on ticking. Don't overeat. There's the real danger. And Teddy says it's okay to go back to work on Monday, Granddad. I shall return Monday morning, 7 o'clock. Another go-around of the big gig. Are you back with me, Brother Biff?
Back Monday, ready to start another week.
We're going to keep on doing it until we get it right.
That could be a long time.
Indeed.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News.
All right, another day done, another week is over. I have no idea what I'm doing Monday. Nobody's scheduled. I'll work on something. We'll end up with something of some value, I am sure. I sent you, I want to make sure, I sent you the new show intros to start after Labor Day, or Memorial Day, right? Okay. Okay, sounds good. I just want to make sure I sometimes forget what I've done, so, okay, good. Okie dokie, sounds good. I may have some new rejoins cut at some point, but we'll just keep using the old ones for now. I had two concerns. I always like to play around that 100 Days of Summer, so I wanted to put that in there, but more importantly, I wanted to get Wheeling Hospital out since they're no longer technically sponsors, so. We can keep on running them next week, but once we switch, we'll get them out of there. And that's it. Any big plans for the weekend? Well, there's plenty of time. All right, I will talk to you Monday. If you have any problems or anything, give me a call. I don't know when Kayleen's back. I don't know if she's back Monday or if I don't know what the game plan is. But in any case, if you need anything, give me a call. I'll be around. All right, talk to you later. Yep, as always, thanks for your help. I really appreciate it. All right, bye.
Gaza bombed out of their homes as they continue to bury their dead. Apple CEO Tim Cook is expected to testify today in an antitrust case against the company that was brought by the maker of Fortnite. You're listening to ABC News.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-724-7317. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-724-7317 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-724-7317 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-724-7317.
The sons of Princess Diana slamming the BBC after the release of a report detailing how journalist Martin Bashir was able to get a 1995 interview with the princess. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez explains.
Former Judge Lord Dyson leading the investigation, finding Bashir arranged an initial meeting with Diana by showing fake bank statements to her brother, Earl Spencer, suggesting